So I can see that most of you are interested to know more, and most people have heard about it, and some have also developed mobile apps. So that's so cool. Anyway, I'd like to tell you all that this session is for all of you. It's developed actually taking into consideration all of you beginners, because it's just to help you get started in app development.
Okay, so this is what we'll be basically covering today. So what basically app development is. So why is it important? Then the various popular tech stacks used and what inspired us to just start our journey on app development and a few resources to get you started.
So what is app development? To develop apps, we need to consider a few things. So as you all know, there are a lot of screen sizes available for mobile phones. Like my screen size won't be the same as your phone screen size. So you need to consider that. And also there are a lot of hardware specifications that you need to consider. And also as a developer, you can create mobile apps for iOS or Android. So there are different techniques for developing apps, and we'll be covering that also. Basically, for developing an iOS app, you'll need a MacBook. And otherwise, you can just use Flutter or Kotlin or Java. No need to be scared of any of these terms, because we'll be covering that.
Okay, now before we start, so let's jump back to the Mentimeter slide we had shared before. So can you all just open that again? This is the last question on Mentimeter, I swear. So what are some amazing websites that you prefer over apps? So personally, one that I would prefer if it was an app is LeetCode. So similarly, all of you might have some suggestions, right? So do drop in your suggestions. So there are I think there are three options given. So you don't have to put in all three. Even if you just know one, you can just drop in. Okay, yeah, Quora, that is definitely there. Google Scholar, C Kerala. Yeah, no other options? Come on.
Come on.
KTU site, yeah,
MEC.
definitely. KTU definitely needs to improve on their website too. Okay, so let's move on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so why app development? So like if suppose WhatsApp was not an app, rather it was a website. So I do not think it would have such a large user base continuing to use them. And like you had all suggested a few websites that would have been better if they were apps. So this is exactly why we need app development. It is to effectively and efficiently reach users. And so the other point is to engage with customers. So all of you might regularly use Swiggy and Zomato. Right? So in that we've always seen interesting ads like pizza offers, many things. So all of you might have oh wow, it's tempting. So let's just buy this. So all of you might have fallen prey to this. So that is how they continuously keep engaging their customers in using their app. And increasing visibility, it basically means that so when you create a startup or any company for it, so basically they do this by creating apps because app engage people more into using it, and thus the popularity of their company rises along with this. So that is why visibility is very important. Okay, so these are a few popular tech stacks used in app development. So it's React Native, okay? So we'll see more on Flutter and Kotlin in the upcoming slides.
And also this is not JavaScript, this is Java.
Yeah, that is Java.
So we'll be seeing Flutter now, and Flutter is a UI toolkit developed by Google. You must be knowing what UI is. It's user interface, and it's an open source framework, which basically means that the source code is visible to everyone on the internet. Anyone can read it, go through it, and use it for learning purposes. Also, if you have learned Flutter, you'll know that it's a very fast way to develop apps, and there is only minimal code requirements. Compared to all other frameworks, I would say that it's very easy to learn. And it also uses the Dart programming language, which is also developed by Google. So one main feature of Flutter is cross-platform app development. So I have included a GIF to make you understand what cross-platform app development is. Basically, these days we have a lot of platforms, we have a lot of devices. So if you're developing an app, you would want it to be displaying the right way in all of these devices. Like it could be a website, or it could be a tablet, it could be a mobile app. It should be visible. It should be displaying greatly in all of these devices. So if you're using Flutter, you can just use a single code base to run your app in all of these devices. That's the main advantage of Flutter. So web and some other platforms, it's only developing stage because Flutter is very recent comparatively, but still we're getting there and it's very popular. And yeah, it's very popular among MACians too. So these are some of the popular apps that are made in Flutter. So you all will be knowing Google Pay. So how many of you know that Google Pay is actually written in Flutter? And also you can see Google Assistant. And there are other apps also like BMW and Alibaba, eBay, and there are many apps actually, and many are actually, many were written in Java, but then they have actually switched to Flutter. So yes, it's an upcoming technology, and it's being adapted by many different companies also.
Okay, so now let's move on to Kotlin. So it is interoperable with Java. So with this basically means that a lot of functionalities that are available in Java are also available in Kotlin. So that is why it is very interoperable. So nowadays, currently, at more than 60% of professional Android developers use Kotlin as their language more than Flutter, because Kotlin had actually launched in 2010, whereas Flutter was recently launched in 2007. So currently, Kotlin is being used more over Flutter. And most of you use Google apps, right? Like Google Docs, Google Drive, etc. So like, do you know that most of the apps used by Google are developed using Kotlin, except for Google Pay, which is developed in Flutter? Okay, so let's see. So Java versus Kotlin. So which programming language is better? So as I've told before, Java, like Kotlin has a few functionalities of Java also. So let's see which is better. So this is just a short example of code written in Java and code written in Kotlin. So you can see the difference, right? It's like really prominent. So like Kotlin, you barely have to write 5 lines of code. And for that same thing, you have to write around 10 to 20 lines in Java. So this is why Kotlin is preferable. And if you know Java already, the learning curve for Kotlin is very, very easy, as they are like, similar tech stacks. So it is very easy to learn Kotlin if you already know Java. So as you can see here, there is around more than 30% less code compared to Java. And the time spent by developers on reviewing and maintaining the app is very less compared to Java. Okay, so these are a few apps that had started off using Java, but then switched to Kotlin in the recent years. So basically the reason why they switched is the ease of access and ease of use using Kotlin. It takes less time to develop and it is easier for developers.
So now we'll be going through our personal learning journeys so that you can, be motivated to start on your own. So I actually learned Flutter through a course by London App Brewery. This person is Dr. Angela Yu. She has a course on Udemy. So my friend was basically learning this course, and she told me that Flutter is a great framework and it's very easy to develop mobile apps. And I think I was in second year, and I was stuck in lockdown with nothing else to do. So I was like, okay, why not? I could also try learning it. So that's how I started learning it, and I enjoyed it. So I also went to a few hackathons, made some projects in Flutter, and I even won a few hackathons. And I also joined a few communities like Flutteristas. So Flutteristas is basically a community for women and non-binary Flutter developers. So it's a cool community. If you want to join, just hit me up. I'll be making sure that you get in. Also, as I told you, I've developed a few projects for hackathons, and I actually demoed one project to a startup, and that's how I got an internship at a small startup. This was before my Google internship. And also, I think towards the end of this year, I think, yeah, I delivered a talk at an international conference. So that was my first talk at an international conference. That also came through Flutteristas. So that's basically my journey with Flutter.
Okay, so my journey is like pretty short. Okay, so have you all heard of MEC Labs? It is actually an event, as you can see, conducted by MECs. So basically, MEC Labs, it is a hackathon organized by Excel. That is basically, it is only for first years and second years. So that is where I started off my journey. So one of my friends was like, we'll just join this. So at that point, I didn't know anything. Even in my first year, I did not know anything. I started developing and coming to know about all of this in my second year. So you have an added advantage there. So you were exposed to all of this in your first year. So do take advantage of it. So in MEC Labs, so that is where we started off. So we decided on developing an app. So that is how we came to know about Flutter. And we, started developing and researching. And that's how we developed a project. And from that, we started, doing projects. And then I, went on to take talk sessions, etc. So whenever you do something, it is always a team effort. So if you try and make an app on your own, you might drop out halfway. You might feel not enthusiastic anymore, or you might lose that initial interest you had. So if you have someone along with you in the team, at some points when you are down, they might motivate you. When they are down, you can motivate them. So at the end of the day, you will have a project that is complete. So that is what basically how we learn. So currently, as Gauri had mentioned before, I am the Flutter and Android lead at DSC. So that is how my journey has gone. So next.
Okay, so even I'd like to add that even though these were kind of our journeys, there is no one way to learn Flutter or Kotlin or anything. So when it comes to tech, you can actually learn it in many different ways. You can either watch YouTube tutorials. We have attached a few resources in the end. We'll be sharing this PPT with you, so you can go through these one by one. And by now you'll be familiar with what your learning style is. Even otherwise, you can actually this first year is basically for exploration. So you can explore explore different tech stacks. You can explore learning different tech stacks. So basically you will be getting to know what you like better. So I'd suggest you to go through all these resources and find out what works best for you. So there is this Flutter course on Udemy in London by London App Brewery, which I mentioned before. I have personally used it and I'll recommend it. And if you like learning by YouTube tutorials, those are basically very free, and you can take your own time and learn. So there is a Flutter tutorial by NetNinja, and also the documentation of Flutter is basically it's really cool documentation if you check it. So that's also another resource. And if you know Medium, then Flutter has its own Medium resources. So you can actually check out that also if you're someone who likes reading blogs and then learning. And yeah.
Now, so the ones given from Android Study Jams, they are resources for Kotlin. So Android Study Jams is a currently ongoing event. So I don't know if all of you had registered for it. So it is basically a course that takes you through the basics till a little advanced level of how to handle Kotlin and how to develop apps using Kotlin. So it's not just one app you'll be developing. There are a series of apps you will be developing. So from what I see, it's like really, really useful. So you like, if you want to do that, you have to do it at this point because it's open from November 29th to January 10th. So if you want to do that, just drop me a message. I'll like share my contact with you. So if you want to know more about Android Study Jam, so you have to create a developer profile and things like that. So just drop a message and I'll help you out through the journey and of the Kotlin official documentation. So basically, whenever you're learning, it's all about Googling. So even as a professional developer, you will always be Googling things, how to create a button, how to insert text. It's all how to, it's all Googling. So at some point also, even if you don't know things, just Google it. You will definitely find answers. And one of the major best places to find is their official documentation that they provide. So even for Flutter and Kotlin, they're both the official documents are really, really good. And you just have to read through it. It's like really simple language and you can understand. So even if you don't understand documentation, maybe you can search out on more keywords or maybe search using, you can search in for YouTube videos for specific topics that you don't understand. So you can, like, as Anaga mentioned, your learning journey will be totally unique. It goes on how you proceed. So there we have also provided a Kotlin YouTube tutorial. So that is by Rahul Pandey. So if you don't like that person, we won't compel you. So these are just the resources that we personally used. So if you can maybe just type in YouTube your Kotlin tutorial for beginners. So there are tons of resources. So maybe, just watch one video of each. So see which you prefer and then proceed according to that. So that's all we have to say.
There are also channels like, Free Code Camp, which provide free, ad-free tutorials on YouTube. Those are also really good. So see what works best for you. And yeah, happy learning.